What is a tsunami? A tsunami is not a single giant wave like in movies. It's usually a series of long waves created when something rapidly shifts a huge amount of water. Most deadly tsunamis start with subduction zone earthquakes, where one tectonic plate dives beneath another, forcing the seafloor upward or downward. Other triggers include underwater volcanic eruptions, massive coastal or submarine landslides, or even, in theory, asteroid impacts. In the deep ocean, tsunami waves may be just a few inches or a couple of feet high, which is why ships at sea rarely notice them. But they move at 500 to 600 miles per hour, about as fast as a commercial jet. As they reach shallow water near coastlines, their speed slows, their wavelength shortens, and their height increases, sometimes reaching tens or even hundreds of feet. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, the most catastrophic modern tsunami, struck on December 26, 2004. A 9.1 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, ripped open the seafloor over a 1,200-kilometer stretch. The ocean floor lifted by several meters, displacing a colossal volume of water. The first waves hit the nearest coastlines within 15 to 30 minutes. Entire villages in Aceh province were erased. Thailand's beaches, crowded with holiday tourists, were devastated. Hours later, waves crashed into Sri Lanka, India, and even reached the east coast of Africa, thousands of miles away. Some waves were estimated at 30 to 50 feet high. Entire fishing fleets were lost, ports and towns flattened. In the end, 230,000 to 250,000 people in 14 countries died, making it the deadliest tsunami in recorded history. The scale of the disaster shocked the world and led to the creation of the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System, as many experts believe tens of thousands of lives could have been saved if warnings had been in place. The 2011 Tohoku tsunami in Japan. On March 11, 2011, a 9.0 magnitude earthquake struck off the northeast coast of Japan. The quake itself was one of the strongest ever recorded, but the real devastation came about 30 minutes later when enormous tsunami waves reached the shore. Some of these waves towered up to 130 feet, 40 meters. When they surged up valleys or river mouths, they swept inland as far as 6 miles in some areas, destroying entire towns and carrying cars, ships, and houses far from the coast. Over 18,000 people were killed or went missing. The water also overwhelmed protective seawalls and flooded the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, causing one of the worst nuclear accidents in history. Japan's tragedy highlighted that even in a country renowned for earthquake preparedness, extreme events can still overwhelm defenses. It also pushed scientists to reassess tsunami hazards for other coastal regions worldwide. The 1755 Lisbon earthquake and tsunami. On the morning of November 1, 1755, the city of Lisbon, located in Portugal, was devastated by a large offshore earthquake, which is estimated to have been between 8.5 and 9.0 on the Richter scale. The earthquake leveled a large portion of the city, but an even more terrible event occurred after that. After the tsunami had struck, numerous survivors fled to the area near the riverbank, where they were then struck by a series of tsunami waves that rushed up the Tagus River. Additionally, blazes erupted in several parts of the city. It is estimated that between 50 and 60,000 people perished in Portugal, Spain, and North Africa. The calamity had a significant impact on the philosophers and statesmen of Europe, which had repercussions for Enlightenment thinking on the subjects of nature, religion, and disaster response. It also marked the beginning of modern-day seismology and the scientific study of tsunamis. The 1883 Krakatoa tsunami. In August 1883, the Indonesian volcano Krakatoa erupted with such force that the sound was heard thousands of miles away. The eruption caused much of the volcano's island to collapse into the sea. That sudden collapse displaced enormous amounts of water, generating tsunami waves that reached 120 feet high along nearby coasts. Entire villages in Java and Sumatra were obliterated. About 36,000 people were killed, mostly by the waves rather than the eruption itself. The disaster also injected huge amounts of volcanic ash into the atmosphere, lowering global temperatures for several years, a reminder of how interconnected Earth's systems can be. The 1881 Andaman Islands tsunami. Although less famous, the Andaman Islands tsunami of 1881 provides an early historical record of tsunami devastation in the Indian Ocean. Triggered by a strong undersea earthquake in the Bay of Bengal, waves spread outward and struck the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and parts of coastal India and Burma, Myanmar. Historical reports describe villages swept away, ships wrecked, and many thousands killed or displaced. This event is often cited by researchers as a warning that the Indian Ocean region had long been vulnerable to tsunamis, well before 2004. The 1946 Aleutian Islands tsunami. There was an earthquake with a magnitude of 8.6 that occurred off the coast of Alaska's Aleutian Islands on April 1, 1946. The tsunami that it had created traveled across the Pacific Ocean and struck Hawaii just a few hours after the incident had taken place. There was a huge amount of damage done on the shoreline at Hilo, and the waves reached heights of up to 55 feet, resulting in 165 fatalities. The disaster that occurred was the impetus for the establishment of the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, which has been a major achievement in the development of tsunami preparedness around the world. The 1700 Cascadia Subduction Zone Tsunami. Centuries before modern instruments, the Cascadia Subduction Zone off the Pacific Northwest coast of North America unleashed a colossal earthquake, estimated at magnitude 8.7 to 9.2, on January 26, 1700. It sent a tsunami crashing into what is now Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia, destroying indigenous coastal villages. Across the Pacific, in Japan, records describe an unexpected orphan tsunami that arrived without an earthquake being felt. Today, geologists and oral histories confirm the event. It serves as a stark warning that the region remains at risk of another megaquake and tsunami. The 1958 Lituya Bay megatsunami. Not all tsunamis are caused by subduction zone quakes. On July 9, 1958, a powerful local earthquake in Alaska triggered a massive landslide into Lituya Bay. The falling rock displaced so much water that it created a gigantic wave that shot up the opposite hillside to an astonishing 1,720 feet, 524 meters, the highest tsunami run-up ever recorded. Fortunately, the area was sparsely populated, but 5 people were killed. The event remains a dramatic example of how landslides can generate extreme local tsunamis. Patterns and lessons. Across these disasters, several patterns emerge. Subduction zone earthquakes remain the primary source of catastrophic tsunamis. Tsunamis often strike nearby coasts within minutes, leaving almost no time for official alerts. The most severe loss of life often occurs where communities lack early warning systems or public education about evacuation. Rising sea levels and coastal development mean future tsunamis could impact even more people. Modern technology, such as Darrad ocean buoys, GPS-based sea level monitors, and improved communication networks, is critical. But public awareness, like recognizing natural signs, such as strong shaking or sudden water retreat, is equally important. The human impact behind every number are stories of families, survivors, and communities. The 2004 disaster left hundreds of thousands homeless. Entire cultural traditions in Indonesia's Aceh province were disrupted. In Japan, memorials now stand in towns destroyed by the 2011 waves, and evacuation drills have become a routine part of school life. These events also transformed global policy. Aid agencies improved disaster response strategies, and countries invested in stronger building codes and evacuation infrastructure. Preparing for the future. Scientists know that future tsunamis are inevitable, whether from another Cascadia megaquake, a volcanic collapse like Krakatoa, or even submarine landslides in unexpected places. Efforts continue to expand warning networks and educate coastal populations. Drills, escape routes, and even vertical evacuation towers in tsunami-prone regions like Japan and parts of the U.S. Pacific Northwest are saving lives. The key lesson: awareness and swift action save lives. Perspective. Tsunamis are a force that has shaped coastlines and human history for millennia. Each tragedy has also brought progress in science, engineering, and global cooperation. By learning these stories and remembering the lives lost, we stay better prepared for the future. If you found this deep dive informative, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more explorations of the world's most powerful natural forces.